I was 24 years of age when I was diagnosed with bowel cancer. I was living in WA with my partner at the time. We just bought a house and just got engaged. Just being 24-year-old, living life, working, and then got sick. Every time I ate, I was getting bloated and bad stomach pains, and that was really the only symptoms I had. I'd been to the blood tests and they tested me for celiac, and the only abnormality that came back was my iron was low, but they didn't link it to anything. I ended up in emergency twice, and they just sent it off as girl things. And finally, persisting paid off to get pushed up to the top of the list, and that's when my colonoscopy, they found a tumour that was blocking my bowels. Yeah, when I was diagnosed after the bowel cancer, I got sent off to CT scans, PET scans, and that's where they found the cancer had spread to my liver. I was sent to see surgeons at Fremantle Hospital, where I was put straight in for bowel surgery, where they took out, I think it was 30 centimetres of my sigmoid colon, I think it's called. And then after that, I got put through to some chemotherapy, where I had to get a port put in my chest, and I got oxaliplatin was one of the drugs, and fluoro-5-FU I think was the other one. So I had to go home with a bum bag for 2 days, and I was connected to the chemotherapy. And the first time I had it, I had an allergic reaction to the oxaliplatin, and yeah, it wasn't a good feeling. They gave me Phenergan, knocked me out. So yeah, the chemo wasn't very good. Like, made me tired. Everything I touched was cold, or gave me electric shock. Had to wear gloves all the time on my feet all the time, with socks, and couldn't drink anything cold. Everything tasted horrible. Was sick. Yeah, hair thinned out, tired all the time. At the stage of diagnosis, they told me my prognosis was 5% chance to be alive in 5 years. They gave me the chance to freeze eggs, but told me it was too much stress on my body, so I didn't have the chance. So they don't know if I could have kids. Then they told me that because of my possibilities, it would all come down to chemotherapy or shrinking the tumours on my liver. So it's pretty sketchy going for your chemotherapy and then getting your blood tests and hoping that the chemotherapy was working. And the first one was scary because my tumour markers popped up to 500, and then the next one they dropped down to, I think it was 100 and something. So it was a big relief that the chemotherapy was working. So that meant that I could put on to get my liver surgery done. So before that, I had to get portal vein embolization, where they cut off the blood to the right side of my liver, the right side of my liver, to make the left side grow bigger. So when they did the operation, I had a big enough liver to survive. And yeah, so after liver surgery, I had to get more chemo, and the first lot was okay. I was fine, and then the next lot I just started getting sick. Ended up in emergency twice, and then with my temperatures was like high 40s and just vomiting, and they just put me on morphine. And then I got sick again on my next chemo, and high temperatures again in hospital, and that's when they took me off the oxaliplatin, and I was so happy because it's the worst one, makes you so sick, and didn't have to take the steroids again, which were good because they make you eat like no tomorrow. So yeah, after the liver surgery, I was recovering in hospital, and I guess it was the same as when I was in hospital after my bowel surgery. I felt like I was the only young person. Every nurse, when you tell you the story, they tell you, oh, but you're too young, like, you're too young, and they look at you with pity, and you just feel like, well, I'm not too young, like, but am I the only one? And you feel really isolated. So after all my chemotherapy was done, I got put in to get a PET scan, and I guess I didn't know what was going to happen, because they're testing to see if anything is going to light up and say that there's something wrong, there's still cancer. But so when I went in there, had my PET scan, and then she goes, no, it's perfect, you're all clear, like, there's no cancer. And I was just like, oh my god. At that point, I was at home by myself, and I was like, called them, and they had me on speaker, and they had me on speaker, and I just like, oh, I'm all clear, cancer, and they all just like screamed and laughed and cried. And I guess that was like obviously one of the best days of my life, probably the best day of my life. But to this day, like, having your follow-up appointments, having your scans, it still flashes back to that first day when you get those bad news. And like, to this day, it's like, yeah, going to hospital, getting any sort of scan, blood test, I freak out. I become like this ball of anxiety, like getting told that I know I'm okay. I knew I was always going to be okay, being positive, but flashing back to that time, you think, oh, I almost died. Like, yeah, I guess I go back into that frame of mind, which I know nobody understands. They think once you're all clear, you're all clear, but it's that cancer is always there in your life. You're always having your appointments. You always got that in your head. That after being through bowel cancer, my aim is to get the word out there so people don't feel isolated. I don't want others to feel the way I did when they're in hospital. I don't want them to feel like they're the only one that has bowel cancer, because you're not the only one. Even if you think you have something wrong, or if you feel like something's not right, go to the doctors, and if you get sent away, be persistent, get another doctor, find another opinion until you get to the answer, until you're happy with the outcome of the doctor appointment or the scans, because only you know your body and you know there's something wrong. So keep pushing until you get an answer, until you get to the bottom of what's going on, because you don't want to wait till it's too late. Bowel cancer can be so preventable if it's caught early, and we should get the word out there that you're never too young for bowel cancer. Back when I was going through my chemotherapy, we got in contact with Bowel Cancer Australia. The lovely Claire was was our point of contact, and from 2.5 years ago to today, getting in contact with Bowel Cancer Australia was, I guess, the stepping stone for me to help others, to bring awareness to this disease, and it's been such a massive impact on me and to everybody around me. This is why I'm sharing it, so people do understand how serious it is and how preventable it can be if it is caught early, and we shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about our bowels.